If they running their mouth, then they looking for trouble. Ran right up in the knowledge, now they back in the huddle. See, they know we can fight. New content every week. Me and Dr. Clyde keep on bringing the heat. Now they know they were driven, and they know we ain't quitting. Yoshi and Dr. Winner keep on bringing the energy. Unity. See, they know we ain't stopping, and they know they got problems, and they ran out of options. If you know we got a problem, can't let it go unsolved. Bring back learning, Afrocentric history, we see tomorrow. Karma's karma, I say what I say, I hear underwater. Till I see I fall off, then I bring y'all up on note. I'm back up on my Clyde winners, 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 divine winters, Clyde winters, mind benders, Clyde winters, I'm Richard, ride with ya, master teacher, create masters, Clyde winters, give respect to the elder, Clyde winters, how you doing? Somebody out there living for me. I told you somebody out there looking for me. I think there's somebody out there looking for me. I think there's somebody out there looking for me.
We have to live on the heart. We have to live on the heart. I have not done wrong. I have not wrong. I have not stolen. I have not blamed. I have not told lies. I have not stolen food. I was not stolen. I have not fornicated with the fornicator. I have not caused anyone to weep. I have not dissembled. I have not transgressed. I have not discussed secrets. I have brought no lawsuits. I am not wrong. I have not struck kill. I have not transgressed the law. I have not been hunted. Except when I'm talking about on the tongue. I have not made extolling. I have not bragged. I have not cursed. I have not been violent. I have not confounded truth. I have not been impatient. I have not cursed against.
Dr. Winter's legacy is a testament to the power of knowledge and the unyielding spirit of exploration. His impact is felt worldwide, as he shares and enlightens at conferences, symposiums, and collaborative projects. His voice is a beacon in the academic world, challenging, inspiring, and always educating. His journey reminds us that the quest for knowledge is never-ending, and its impact is timeless. Dr. Winters teaches us to challenge the narratives and to learn with an open mind. As he always says, B1 is not a group, it's a lineage. Let his story inspire everybody to pursue knowledge relentlessly and to always seek the truth. Now let us welcome in the grandfather of research, the Trill OG himself, the Honorable Dr. Clyde Winters.
What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? This is I'm not going to do a then and now tonight because Yoshimada couldn't make it tonight, so we're not going to go in that direction. I'm going to talk more about the Mandi religion, or the Olmec religion, which was really the Mandi religion. How you doing? Okay. So, medicine is the oldest system of medicine in the world. The Tamils Siddhas were all great divine healers in both therapeutic and surgical treatments. We'll try to get this this doctor's thing next week. Greetings, Karen Benzine. Earth Angel 1105 remix. Karen, I'm sorry. Oh shit now. I'm sorry that it was a night, But but the thing is that I did want to show you a video. This is a video the other day Yoshimod and and Jesse Eve had a millennial conference, and that millennial conference was about some of the demons in their life. And so I'm going to just show this this video that one of the videos that Yoshimod made about a demon in his life.
Something is wrong with this nigga. And something happened to this nigga. Something is wrong with this. A lot of them out there that are bullies. But I ain't afraid of you motherfuckers. I ain't afraid of you niggas, man. Y'all can bully people all y'all want. But that ends now. You can't bully me. You can't steal shit. Now, all that artwork that surrounds him, the bookwork, that's my energy. He's masking himself around my energy. He does exactly what Amu does. Something is wrong with this nigga. And something happened to this nigga. Something is wrong with this. A lot of them out there that are bullies. But I ain't afraid of you motherfuckers. I ain't afraid of you niggas, man. Y'all can bully people all y'all want. But that ends now. You can't bully me. You can't steal shit. Now, all that artwork that surrounds him, the bookwork, that's my energy. He's masking himself around my energy. He does exactly what Amu does. That dude hurt. He never got over his trauma. He said, I'm the beautician that can do everybody's hair. My hair jacked up. Meaning, I can teach you how to follow code, but I would never follow it. Be aware of people like that. I don't think it's code switching because he's never been on code. He only talked to, his only connection with the hotel community is through the cable line. Yeah, that's his only connection. That's it. He can fool y'all, but he can't fool me. He using other people's affirmations on the beginning of the shows. Hey man, that's cool with me. You shouldn't be around children with your hurt ass. You should not be around children. When this is the dude that will ask your daughter, your son to come in, and then if you as an adult separate yourself from him, he's gonna slander your kids' name. You dig what I'm saying? He's gonna throw them in there, man. That's dirty. Everybody surround themselves around him is business. They're not friends. Everybody got something to benefit off of it. Oh, he got the followers. He got the mark. What do I have to gain in all this? Nothing. But I have been silent because he's been bullying me. He's been sending me emails and shit. He's been telling people about me. I mean, weird stuff, dude. Like, he's a reverend. He's not supposed to discuss shit. He was supposed to let the shit go. I let the shit go. But no, he want to slander my name. Well, I'm not going to slander your name, Chocolatian. I'm just going to tell the truth and shame the devil. Your bullying days are over. They're here to rob anyone and everybody. That bitch need help. He trying to fuck over everybody. Now I see why Kaba had to separate and
Again, that was Yoshimod has been on a very impactful journey this week. He's been dealing with the realities of life, and as a result, this means in a sense that sometimes you have to go over some harmful and some things that kind of hurt you in the past. And this weekend, him and Eve, they did a program, And in their program, what they did is that they discussed some of the demons in their lives. They called it a millennial program. I think it was kind of cool. And in the millennial program, they mentioned some of these demons that they felt that had really, in a sense, put them into a very, very bad situation. And I think it's something that we need to think about. But so tonight we're not going to be talking, about that stuff. And but Zachary Holmes, how you doing? So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about the Olmec religion and things like that. I think it's very important that we understand the Olmecs. The Olmecs was the mother culture, the original civilization of Mexico. It was from this civilization, in a sense, that arose what the greatest civilization in the history of the Western Hemisphere. But many people don't understand is that the Olmec, they did not come from Egypt. The Olmec, in a sense, they did come from Africa, but they didn't come from Egypt. They came in a sense from the Niger Valley back in the day, and these people were Olmec. They were Olmec people, but they belonged to the Mandingo or the Mandi tribe. And what I'm going to talk about tonight is I'm going to talk about the religion of the Olmec people. And what makes it so beautiful is that I'm able to talk about the religion of the Olmec people, not only because of the fact that I deciphered the Olmec writing, which I did decipher, but also in a sense because of the fact that the Olmec left us some very important inscriptions, and these inscriptions tell us much about their civilization, how they lived, how they worked. And so this is what we're going to talk about today. I want you to understand that the Olmec people is very transparent. The Europeans, they always tell you, oh, we don't know anything about the Olmec. We don't know where the Olmec came from and all that type of stuff. But we do know. And much of this has come from my own research. And a lot of this research has been done because of the fact that I wanted our people to understand who the Olmec were. So let's get into that. Again, the Mandi origin of the Olmec religion. The Jaguar Mask Association dominate the Olmec Gulf region. In the central and southern Olmec regions, we find the Bird Mask Association, predominant is typified by the shock bas relief of Chiapas and the bas relief number 2 of Chalcatzingo. Another bird mask association was located in the state of Guerrero, as evidenced by the humano bird figure of the stellite from San Miguel Amuco. So in other words, in a sense that among the Olmec, they had what we would call mass associations. The reason I'm calling them mass associations is that they were, in a sense, various religions, 2 different religions. But what made these religions distinct is that the members of these religions, when they celebrated their cult rituals, when they celebrated their activities, they would wear either a bird mask or they would wear a jaguar mask. And this is why I talk about the two mask associations. The principal Olmec cult association was that of the bird and the feline. This religious tradition of the Olmec was passed on to the Maya and are mentioned in the book of Shumael. Yes, the book of Shumael. See, what many people don't understand is that our ancestors in this Western Hemisphere, they did leave us information about their ways of life. They did leave us information about their culture. But what it is that the European, in a sense, because of the fact that he wants to ignore the fact that the Olmec were an African people, he wants to ignore the fact that the Olmec were Black people and not Mongoloid people. He wants to ignore the fact, in the sense that these people are talking to us. Yes, they're talking to us. As I've tried to tell you guys on many of my Thursday shows and other shows that I do when I talk about history, is that we've always had writing systems. And because we've always had writing systems, we've always been sharing sharing their knowledge with us today. Yes, the ancestors, they wrote us letters, they wrote us posts, they wrote us, in a sense, text. Not like a text message you get from a computer, but they left their messages in stone. And on these stones, they told us who they were. The book of Shumael, what it does is that it talks about some of the Yucatec Maya history. The book of Shumael maintains that the 3 main cult associations that are supposed to exist in ancient times in Mexico were 1, the Stonecutters cult, 2, the jaguar cult, and 3, the bird cult. In line 4-6 of the book of Shumael, we read that, and I quote, those with their sign in the bird, those with their sign in the stone, flatwork stone, those with their sign in the jaguar, 3 emblems. Yes, yes, this is it. And when we look at this stone, here's a stone. Here's a stone from Lavenda. And as you can see, you see these 3 symbols. Yes, you see these 3 symbols. You see this Olmec, and you see under him the bird, the stone, and the jaguar. These are all evidence of the culture that the Olmec had. And see, I told you, I don't be trying to lie to you. I don't be trying to make up ish. I tell you, our ancestors are always giving us knowledge, you see. The Olmec left testimony of this religious tradition in their art. These documents in stone indicate that the Olmec had 2 cult associations, that of the bird mask and that of the feline mask. The Book of Shumael corresponds to the glyphs depicted on Monument 13 at Laventa. This is Monument 13 at Laventa. On Monument 13 at Laventa, a personage in profile, he has a headdress on his head and wears a breechcloth. As you can see, this person, see the headdress on his head, then he has a breechcloth. He has jewels and sandals along with 4 glyphs listed one above the other. The glyphs included the stone, the jaguar, and the bird emblems. Monument 13 at Laventa also has a 4th sign to the left of the personage, a foot glyph. This monument has been described as an altar or a low column. The foot in Olmec is called Se. This symbol means to lead or advance towards knowledge or success. The Se or foot sign of the Komao, that's the Mandi word or the Olmec word for code is Komao, represents the beginning of the Olmec initiate's pursuit of knowledge. Yes, yes. So we see in a sense is that the most important aspect of the Olmec religion was to, in a sense, bring the children into the community. Nowadays we don't think too much about our children, and in a way we think about our children in many cases. There's a great emphasis in America on aborting children. There's a great emphasis in a sense of ignoring children. But in ancient Olmec society, they saw children as a significant part of society. They recognized that if their society was going to be continuous, if their society was going to be great and strong, they had to find a way to bring the children into the society. And this is one of the reasons that a large part of the Olmec cult associations was interested in bringing children into the community. The meaning of Monument 13, reading from top to bottom, are a circle, Kulu, Kabab, the stone, Nama, the jaguar, and Kuno, the bird. So there we see, in a sense, these 3 symbols going from top to bottom. Kulu, Kabab, the stone, Nama, the jaguar, and Kuno, the bird. The interpretation of this column, reading from left to right, top to bottom, is, and this is how we would interpret it or read it: the advance towards success power for the initiate is obedience to the stonecutter's cult, the jaguar cult, and the bird cult. The Jaguar Mass Association dominated the Olmec Gulf region. So see, as I told you, stop it. Stop thinking that our ancestors are not talking to us today. Yes, they wrote this inscription over 3,000 years ago. 3,000 years ago. And yet it's plain and simple today. Once you learn the languages of our ancient people, if you're waiting for white folks to tell you the languages, they're going to say that this language or that language cannot be understood. They're going to tell you that this language or that language is unknown, you see. But you can read these languages. That's why I deciphered, in a sense, the Olmec writing. I was able to decipher the Olmec writing because the fact, in a sense, is that the Olmec, since they came from Africa, they used device script. And device script, because we have the symbols of device script, we have the readings of device script, then I can read the Olmec language, and that's how I can tell you what they were trying to tell us, our ancestors. The religious orders spoken of in this tale are the bird and jaguar cults. These Olmec cults were Nama, or the Humano-Jaguar cult, and Kuno of the bird cult. These are listed on this particular stela from Zappa. Here we can see, in a sense, the bird coat on the left. He has a conical hat, and we see the jaguar coat on the right. And as you can see, the priest wearing the conical hat, he's instructing the children, the Olmec children, and we can see the Olmec, not the Olmec, but the jaguar priest on the right hand side. He's instructing the children. I tell you, everything about Olmec religion was aimed at bringing children into the community, helping the children to grow, helping the children to be vital components of the society, vital components of Olmec society. The leader of the Nama cult was called the Nama Tigi, or the Nama chief. Here you can see an illustration on stela number 5 of Zappa, the Namatiki, head of the faith. So here we can see, in a sense, the Namatiki, and as you can see, the Namatiki, he's instructing the children, and this is on the on stela number 5 from Zappa. The leader of the Kuno cult was the Kuno Tigi, and as you can see, the Kuno Tigi, the leader of the bird cult, he, in a sense, he wore a conical hat. Yes. In many cases, in fact, in ancient European society, the so-called wizard, or the wizard, is associated with a conical hat. So you can see where this conical hat came from. And although this conical hat came from Africa, this conical hat was also a hat that was worn down in Mexico, and later it was worn in Europe by the so-called mystics of their day. And so this is the Kuno Tigi, or the leader of the bird cult. Among the Olmecs, this flame, you can see he's over flame and he's teaching a child. Among the Olmecs, this flame signified the luminous character of knowledge. The Kuno priest wears a conical hat. The evidence of the conical hat on the Kuno priest is important evidence of the Manding in ancient America. The conical hat in Mesoamerica is associated with Amerindian priesthood and as a symbol of political and religious authority. Yes. Leo Viner, in Africa and the Discovery of America, wrote that, and I quote, that the kingly and priestly cap of the Magi should have been preserved in America in the identical form with the identical decoration, and should besides have kept the name current for it among the Mandingo, Balinki Bambara Manding people, making it impossible to admit any other solution than the one that the Mandingos established the royal offices in Mexico. Yes. They established the royal offices in Mexico because the fact is that the Olmec is the mother culture of Mexican civilization. And so then naturally, since the Olmec spoke a Mandi language, they practiced a Mandi culture, then therefore it's only natural that, in a sense, much of the culture of, Mexican people would go back to these Mandi who had originally ruled in Mexico 3,000 years ago as Mandi people. Some of them also came over, and some of the Mandi also played a role. The Mandi who followed Abu Bakari when he came to the Americas in 1310, some of them also influenced the Aztec people. In fact, the Aztec people identified themselves as a Malinke group. Acculturation of children was an important part due to the Olmec priesthood. As a result, we find many examples of children being provided knowledge by the priests. The Olmec child is very evident in Olmec art. To the Olmec, childhood represents the primitive state of mankind, when man was pure and ignorant of nature. Thus, the child in Olmec art represents the human being when he left his creator's hands, uncircumcised and anonymous. Here we see an altar or a monument from Olmec land, and we can see the adult holding the child, and he's coming out of a cave. Caves were sacred. Caves were places where some of the ancient ceremonies of the Olmecs were held. But so as you can see, that much of Olmec religious experience, much of its culture was aimed at acculturating the children, bringing the children into Olmec society. Adults respected children very much. This view is supported by the motifs on altar number 5 of La Venta. On this monument, we see a personage emerging from the stone altar with the glyph Pol Gabe, pure righteousness on his headdress. He is carrying a babe in his arms, resting on his lap. On the other side of the monument, we see two persons in this, each with a different helmet style. Take a minute to look at that. Look at the scene on the right-hand side. Take about 20, 30 seconds to kind of examine that. These scenes suggest that the Olmec child was to learn wisdom. This is illustrated by the animated conversation between the child and the priest recorded on the right side of the artifact. Okay, so look at this. As you can see, we see the child, and the child is being held, in a sense, by this priest. On the left-hand side, we see the child, listening and being taught. And then on the right-hand side, we see the priest where the child is instructing is talking with the priest. You see, he has his hand in a black power salute, and it's interesting in a sense that if you notice, in the hat that's worn by the priest on the right-hand side, we see the snake. The snake represented Naga. Naga was supposed to be the name of the secret serpent religion that many people practice, that you could get knowledge from the serpent. I guess some of it may go back to this whole idea of Adam and Eve. Remember, in Adam and Eve, it was the serpent who encouraged Eve to eat the apple so she could get knowledge. But again, the serpent or the snake was recognized as a symbol of knowledge. And we see that the child, in a sense, at first, in a sense, he's being instructed by the Olmec priest. And then on the right-hand side, we see that the child is communicating with the priest. In other words, in the sense is that you're supposed to listen to children sometimes. Sometimes the babes can have, in a sense, can help you to really understand reality in society. And we shouldn't always cut off our children from allowing them to express themselves, because sometimes they can have the knowledge that can also help us to grow. Even though I'm children, they often say things that are very, very wise and very consequential. So again, in a sense, we see that within the Olmec society, there was a unity, and the unity was sought to encourage the children to come into the community and the children to be a part of the community. On the right-hand side, we see a priest and a child again. This time, the priest has a snake on his helmet. Instead of carrying a child on his lap, in this scene, the child is carried on the personage's side and wearing a jaguar mask. Do you see that? See the child on the right-hand side, he's wearing the jaguar mask, and you see the snake on the helmet. This indicates that once the child completes the initiation, he was recognized as an individual to be respected, capable of giving advice to adults. Very important, and sometimes, again, as I said, is that we often ignore the fact that we have to have an integrated society. And the best way to have an integrated society is a society in which, yes, adults dominate. Adults have much more knowledge, just like we assume that elders have more knowledge maybe than the younger people. But we also have to recognize that in Olmec society, they recognize that not just, adults had knowledge, not just adults should be heard, but also children should be heard at times, because children can also give you knowledge and information that can help societies grow. So again, we can see the child being instructed, and then we can see the child on the right-hand side with the jaguar mask, having the black power salute, and he's able, in a sense, to talk to the adult and move forward because he has been given the knowledge in the secret society. These examples from Olmec iconography make it clear that the Olmec religion is exactly the same as the pre-Islamic religion of the Malinki Bambara people. We note the preoccupation of the Olmec in socializing their children, as illustrated by the figures from Levanta. This was important for the Shi or Olmecs, who recognized children as a key element in maintaining continuity within the Olmec society. Again, this was a very This was a very short presentation, and I wanted to keep this presentation short because, again, next week we'll have our then and now show. But I just wanted, in a sense, to bring this up to you guys. And I hope that you guys, in a sense, enjoyed the presentation. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat. House of Consciousness, how you doing? Peace and blessings, Dr. Winters. This is Sarnetta. I would love to help promote your work and bring you on my show. Okay, let me know, and I'll try to see what I can do. Okay, that's the House of Consciousness. Sarnetta Studios, peace and blessings, Dr. Winters. I would help to promote your show. Good, Tyler says, peace and blessings, chat with Dr. Winters. Yes. Thank you guys for showing up again. We'll have our then and now program next week. And this was just a little aside so that we could discuss something and stuff like that. I hope you guys will get my book on Blacks in Europe, because it's a book that can help you to understand more about the Black people. Buy my book, Blacks in Europe. This is one of the most important books that you'll find on the market today. In this book, I discuss the rise of Black people in Europe. I have a special section on the so-called Baradineks. The Baradineks are the Black people that formerly lived in Britain who were sold into chattel slavery in the 13 colonies and in the Caribbean. Buy this book, Blacks in Europe. You can get this book at Amazon.com. Buy this book today. Learn about the Black nationalities that lived in Europe. Learn that Europe was once a Black continent. Buy my new book. Hey, I've just written a new book, History and Culture of the Black Aboriginals of America. Yes, I've written a new book. This book is called History and Culture of Afro-Americans. It's about the Aboriginal Americans. It's about the first people who inhabited America. Many people don't know about our great culture, this super culture that we created, but I discussed this book. In 489 pages, you'll find out so much information, great information, about, in a sense, what the Aboriginal foundational Black Americans did. You're going to see, in a sense, that Black people contributed much here. When the first Europeans got here, that's what they found. Yes, they found Black Aboriginals inhabiting the Americas. It was the Black Aboriginals that built this country. This is why you had to get my book. Get my book, History and Culture of the Aboriginal Blacks of the Americas. In this book, you will find out the truth. You will know what we created. You will know who we are. Get this book. Buy it now. Today is today. Today is today. We need to homeschool our children due to white supremacy. In many states, education departments are passing laws to deny our children from learning the history of foundational Black Americans. Today, you can learn how to organize and teach your children in a homeschool. In my book, A Guide to Homeschool Foundational Black Americans. You can use my book, History of Blacks in America from Prehistory to 1877, to teach our children their history here in the United States. You can use my book to teach world history. And this book I've written is called The World History of the Black World. This will teach your children about every Black civilization in the world. Get this book. The time is now. Get these books to teach your children about their greatness, to prevent them from losing confidence in their own ability to learn and be successful future adults in employment and education. Hey, it's time for the Afrocentric Research Course led by Dr. Clyde Winters. Join this course. The 15-week Afrocentric Research Course will begin on April 16, 2024. It will last between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can go to clyde98.gumroad.com slash L slash to join the class. The Afrocentric Research Course is vital. In this course, you will learn how to do research. It will help you to write and conduct research. You see, you're going to learn how to do research. You're going to learn how to interpret research literature. And you're going to learn how to write books and articles. Yes, books and articles. And you're going to learn how to use research data to improve your small business. Already, in a sense, many former students have begun to write articles and books that they published. You too can write these articles and books after you take my class. You can make a single payment of $599. You can go to clyde98.gumroad.com slash L slash ZBWRJR, or you can make monthly payments. Go to clyde98.gumroad. Join me for my 15-week Afrocentric Researcher course. It's going to be the class that's going to help you to really be a success. It's going to start April 16, 2024, 7 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Join us. Join us in this class. Learn how to do research. It's up to you. You can find out more about the class in the description. G-I-J, comma J equals 0. Now, G-I-J, comma J equals 0. Now, say it loud, louder and loud, let us all celebrate. G-I-J, comma J equals 0. Now, G-I-J, comma J. We no beg, steal, or borrow. We bury Jim Crow under the ground. And we no dig him up. This is the black man's time. Yes, this is the black man's time. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Hey, yes, I'm here to let you know. Theory that explains everything that exists. It explains how we survived in this oppressive white supremacist center. Yes, Goggot. Goggot is the theory that shows that everything evolves around the one, and the one is God. Very important. Buy my book, Nationality and the Law. In this book, we discuss the importance of race and identity among many African Americans. I explore the genesis of the so-called blacks from an ethnogenesis of Black Irish, Black Aboriginals, and Sub-Saharan Africans. In this book, you will understand how they were separated into two races and why we call, in a sense, the Caucasian race the white race today. Buy my book, The Nationality and the Law. You'll enjoy it. How you doing, Tyler H? How you doing, Team Zulu? Again, as I said, this week, Yoshimod couldn't make the show, but next week we'll have Then and Now. So I hope you guys will join us next week. I have a little time left, so if you have any questions on anything that deals with history, any questions you have, I'll take a little time and I'll try to answer them. So if you have a question, just put it in the chat and we'll discuss it maybe. Karen says, thank you for the knowledge, Dr. Winters, and we appreciate all you have to offer. Thank you, Karen. Team Zulu says, greetings, good doctor and class. Hope all is well. Yes, things all is well, you know. It's it's been really raining out here in Chicago, but again, we need this rain. But to some people, they felt it was kind of strange that we've had this kind of crazy weather's going across the country. But again, it's very important to understand is that America is a tricky country. What I found after years of research is that America, it looks as though it's a very prosperous, a very fertile land, but at the same time, the weather patterns here have always been really nasty. That's one of the reasons why our Aboriginal Black ancestors, who lived in the Americas, what they did often is that they usually, in a sense, built their houses on mounds. And one of the reasons that they built their houses on mounds is because of the fact that a lot of times the weather would be flooding a lot, or if it wasn't flooding, it would be a lot of snow. And people don't understand in the sense is that many places where people have built their towns and cities are places that over the historical period, there's been a whole lot of, in a sense, flooding in those areas. But they don't know that because they haven't looked at the history of those areas and stuff. So again, thank you guys for coming. I don't see any questions in the chat, so I guess maybe I'll just end the show. Oh, cool dude, what up, cool dude? Hi, how you doing, cool dude? Hi, Doc. I intend to get your book on Black Aboriginals, but I have yet to read about 10 other books of yours I have purchased. Well, the thing is, this is that I hope that you can get that book, but thank you for supporting me. Kudu is a teacher in New York, and Kudu is one of those warriors who we really need. And what makes Kudu the warrior is that he's working with our children, he's teaching in the schools, and by him teaching, he's building up our youth, and this is what we need. We need people who can be devoted to wanting to teach our youth and make them into bright young men and women who can challenge, these policies of the white supremacists and be armed with the knowledge that can allow them to be true. Okay, Team Zugu said, dang, I used to get a question for you. Yes, I've been on those 12 italic types and have found them to be interesting. Okay, that's cool. Brad Murray says, what's your name, Dr. Winters? Any advice on the solar eclipse? No, I don't know too much about the solar eclipse. I know that we had that earthquake up in New Jersey. I live in Chicago, and many people don't know that the center of earthquakes is not California. It's out here in it's really, in a sense, the center of real earthquakes in the United States is in the Illinois and Kentucky areas, not in Cali. But again, who knows? Okay, Karen says, I have a friend that said that in the summer she will be taking a Black History course at the Hunter College. I wonder what they will teach her. They're going to teach her a lot of bullshit, probably. They're going to probably teach her about slavery. They may throw in a little bit about the African empires, Malay, Songhai, but they're not going to really teach her too much about stuff like that. Kudu says, I've been watching and studying many of your video lessons of the past years. I just rewatched Exterminate All the Brutes. I can see more information on the Black Aboriginals is needed. True, that's true. But the thing that I hated about Exterminate All the Brutes, if you remember, they showed some fake Seminoles in that video, and I'm calling them fake Seminoles because the original Seminoles, if you remember, were basically Black Indians, but in the movie Exterminate All the Brutes, they show some Red Indians. What many people don't understand is that what the white man did is that is that as the white man would steal the heritage and steal the ancestry of many of the black people, what they would do is that they would in a sense replace us. They would tell the red man to go out to the Midwest, or go tell the red man to go out to California, and then they would have them pretend that they were the original tribes, when the original tribes were not red men. The original tribes were black aboriginals. But they send these red men around the country, these red Indians around the country, claiming our ancestry. You see, but exterminate the brute is good. But again, it only goes on the surface. You got to understand is that the European, he picks people. He picks people who will tell a story, and they tell a story that seems to be very powerful. They tell a story that seems to be very interesting, but the story doesn't really go into detail, because if they really tell the details of white supremacy, then that would, in a sense, create among black people a recognition that we're being exploited, a recognition that we've been mistreated. And so then, therefore, movies like Exterminate All the Brutes, on the one hand, they seem to be very powerful. They seem to be teaching you something. But again, it's always a lie, because, see, they still, when you look at that, you don't recognize the fact that the Seminoles were basically black runaway slaves. They were Maroons. It doesn't even mention the fact that these Maroons later went to Oklahoma. Then from Oklahoma, they went down in Mexico and fought along the border there. No, they make it look as though the Seminoles are still in Florida. No, that's not the real Seminoles. It's just a made-up ish. Okay, Team Zulu says, I found quickly that has also happened to the 12 Italic tribes. Yes, it's you have to understand that if you're talking about Italy, the earliest skeleton in Italy goes back to 7000 BC, and he carried R1. And R1 or V88 is the R1 Y chromosome that's carried. Basically, in the beginning they said it was only carried by Africans, but then when they found out that all the ancient Europeans carried V88, then they just started acting like, oh, it's just R1. No. So you see, the European, because of the fact that he lacks a history, he's always trying to make up ways to try to, in a sense, bogart his way into the history of the world when he lacks a lot of history. We just been conditioned to believe that the European has ruled the world for 2,000 years, and that we've always been suffering from white supremacy. No, that's all false. It is so false. And one of the reasons that it's false is that, look at it from this perspective. In 711 AD, the black people from Senegal, they went into England, they went into to Iberia, and they in a sense became the Moors. Okay, Charlemagne. Okay, he stopped. He's a black general, but he stopped some of the Moors from maybe taking over all of Europe. But we still see these forts and castles. We still see forts and castles that these Moors had in Britain, had in France, had in Germany. So we can still see that the Moors had a great influence, not just in Iberia. You see, not just in Iberia, they also had a great influence throughout Europe. But see, the European, in a sense, he wants to call these the Dark Ages or something like that, because the fact, in the sense, is that if he really discusses it, he'll have to discuss black people ruling white folks, and they do not want you to ever understand that you were ever on top. They want you to always believe that you've been waiting for them to lead you. You've been waiting for them to teach you, and that's false. So it's very important in a sense. But I really wish that we had some brothers and sisters out there who could get the money and make some real actual films, some films that relate to our history, relate to our culture. This is something that we really need, because see, the European and the Japanese, when the Japanese created a movie industry, what did they do? They want to make movies about the shogun. They want to make movies about the ninjas. That's an important aspect of their culture. The European American, when he wanted to make movies about the cowboys, you see. But see, what they did is they didn't allow us to make movies about heroes. They wanted to create heroes of the boys in the hood, or heroes in the sense where people are gang banging and tearing down their communities and stuff like that. And see that those images are not the images that are real heroic. Those aren't the images of people who, in a sense, should be mimicked by a people. But they did this in a way to be able, in a sense, to lead us down a path of, in a sense, degeneracy. Yes, degeneracy. As I talked earlier about bringing our children, is that we're losing our children. People are able to come in and just step on our children. People are able to come in a sense, demoralize our children, because the fact is this, is that we're not protecting our children. We have to begin to protect our children. We have to spend some time trying to teach our children. In the past, yes. I'm not going to say that dad was always around. I mean, even my father. My father, he worked, and you would see him on the weekend, maybe most of the day. But my father was always out hustling. He did construction work, so he worked early in the morning, during the week, and then on the weekend he might have some jobs where him and his friends would hustle to do lightweight concrete jobs for other people to make money. But the thing is this, but at least you had your mom and you had your grandma and you had your auntie around every now and then to try to teach you things. Nowadays our children are growing up without any type of introduction, any type of instruction, any type of understanding about life and how to make it in this man's world. And I think that that's kind of sad. It is kind of sad that we're not, in a sense, translating to our children, the knowledge that can help them to be successful. Granted, I had to be honest, is that often your children, they don't want to hear what you have to say. Often your children feel you're old, and your children feel, you just don't know what's happening because this is a new day. And that's just what they did. That's just what they feel. But it's not really true. you know it's just very important. Kudu, he says, I'm also rereading about the fifth time Philostratus Life of Apollonius. It's a 2-volume lower classical book, and your information has given me more insight as I read. Yes, it was the book of the Life of Apollonius that allowed me to understand, in a sense, that 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 the ancient Merodes were Cushites. See, when they talk about the naked sages, in a sense, were really, in a sense, the Kushana. You know, and they were naked sages was another name for the Buddhists. And they lived on mounds. Yes, they lived on mounds. The reason they lived on mounds again is to escape some of the flooding, but also, in a sense, the naked sages, often they would want to be in caves so they could see the planets. That's one of the reasons. That's how black people back in the days would travel to the other planets. Sometimes they didn't take a rocket. What they would do is that they would go into a deep trance and they would send their astral self to the various planets. That's why they knew about a lot of planets back in the day. Eve, what up, though? Eve, hi. Missed you last week. I'm happy to see you. You got that right. And family, join us on Wednesday night. Me and Just Eve are going to be talking about an important subject. So you guys join us on Wednesday at 9 o'clock Eastern time for our show. You'll enjoy it. Again, so like I said, thanks for showing up, everybody. Next week, same time, same place. We'll get in and out. And but now, we'll there's no more questions. Yeah. That's right. The show is 9 p.m. Eastern time. Yesterday, Just Eve and Yoshi, they did a millennial discussion. And in this millennial discussion, they talked about a lot of the demons that they're fighting, and they talked about the fact that they followed people who didn't live up to the code, and I think that's very important. I think that if you say, how you doing, Dorville? I think that if you say the code, you should live up to the code, and I think that is very important. That everybody should use that as a template. You should use that as a template to really decide on who you should or shouldn't follow. Because see, you shouldn't follow people that don't live up to their own code. You shouldn't follow people who talk about mod and yet you see them in a sense doing things that are anti-mod. You should only follow people in a sense that are true, people in a sense that are for real, and that people in a sense whatever they say they live by. And this is very important, you know. And the most important thing is to is to save the brain. And this is one of the things that Yoshimod, the genius, has made clear is that we had to protect the brain.
If you're not going to speak up, you're the one who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the one who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the one who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the one who do. Vampires, they prey on your fears, tell them to stay away. Vampires, they prey on your fears, control your atmosphere. Don't let them take your energy. Don't let them take your control your atmosphere. I am you when you control your atmosphere. Don't let them take your energy. Don't let them suck your energy. It's a distraction away from me. I am you and you are me. If you're not going to speak up, you're the one who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the one who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the one who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the one who do. Don't follow nobody but yourself. Don't follow, I said nobody but yourself. Don't follow nobody but yourself. Don't follow yourself. Nobody, yourself. Nobody but yourself. Yellow honey, drip slow, sweet agave, head to toe. Independent finance, wine, citrus mist. My Wonder Woman, I wonder how the hell we come to this. Water trick, extra down to the lips, down low before splashing the floor. My only intentions in this dimension is to get what I've been searching for. Yeah, she got me reaching for the top of my tippy toes. Jill stop, she ain't messing with them gigolos. Sister gold, cut your heart open, how you old. Meditation on point, watch your hands go. She my beginning, the time I come in God mode. Free spirit, she ain't messing with the trauma hoes. Infinite knowledge, educated soul. Funkadelic vibe, anything goes.
Get some of that jewelry. Get some of that jewelry by Tom Spy. This man has made some beautiful merchandise. You can be looking sharp. You can be looking down. Support Tom Spy. Get some of his jewelry, please.
Sista Andito, the radiant goddess of ancient Kemot, is a remarkable and benevolent force of nature. Much like Mother Nature herself, she possessed a deep love for all living things and the natural world. In a time when the people of Kemot faced a devastating drought, their land turning barren and lifeless, Sista Andito had their cries for help. Moved by compassion, she undertook a miraculous transformation, becoming a resplendent sunflower. Wherever her roots touched the parched earth, water flowed forth as if by magic. As Sista Andito gracefully swayed through the land as a sunflower, life returned to Kemot. Rivers once dry began to flow again, and fields once withered turned lush and green. Her divine touch provided sustenance to people and animals alike, nourishing their bodies and spirits. Crops flourished, and joy returned to the land. The people of Kemot were overflowing with gratitude to her for the restoration of nature's beauty. They celebrated with music, dance, and jubilant feast. She wasn't just a goddess of nature, she was also a goddess of music and happiness. Sista Andito's music was a source of enchantment and healing. Often seen with a musical instrument known as a sistrum, she would join in their festivities, creating melodies that chased away sadness and brought forth joy. In the stories, her music possessed a magical quality that could mend wounded hearts and uplift weary souls. But Sista Andito's influence extended beyond her divine music. In the modern world, she has become a symbol of artistic prowess and a beacon of positive change. Her spoken word performances have left audiences in awe, earning her acclaim from coast to coast. Through her artistry, she tackles societal challenges, offering solutions that free minds and elevate humanity. As a painter, muralist, and fabric artist, Sista Andito's talents are boundless. Her multifaceted skills and unwavering dedication to uplifting humanity make her a true luminary in the world of art and culture. She reminds us all that true freedom comes from mastering oneself and embracing the harmony of nature, much like the radiant goddess she embodies. You can purchase her music using the link below.
Support Sister Andito. She has some good music, great music. Support her. Come on now. We got to support our brothers and sisters. We got to be much more. Yes, we had to get up off some of that cash, and we have to, in a sense, be prepared to do the right thing. This is a public service announcement from the Millennial Conference last night, and this is a public service announcement. Keep this guy away from your kids, please.
Something is wrong with this nigga. There's something happened to this nigga. Something is wrong with this.
Hurt people. You just a hurt, dirty dude. But yeah, all that bullying stuff, yeah. Yo, FBA, we gotta stick together. We gotta stick to code. Guidance tells us to unite. You know what I'm saying? We gotta be one. You dig what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody that's be one, that understand following the code, and don't separate the goddamn man from the code. He always say, don't follow the teacher, follow the teaching. Nah, we gonna change that. We gonna follow the teacher and the teacher, because they gotta add up. You dig what I'm saying? So own up to your words, own up to yourself, and be you and be one, right? Unity, baby, unity. I can't unite if we fight amongst ourselves. So we have to pick out the weeds, right? And that is one bad weed in the crop we had to pick out. So look at my subscribers, look at his subscribers. See who's fooling who. But I'm not doing this shit for marketing. I'm doing this shit because I know what's real, man. So yeah, join my Patreon. Support me. Support the work that I do. I got a lot of work coming, independent. So shout out to everybody that's down with me. Ashe, love y'all. Hotel.
Support Yoshi Mod. Support the genius. Support Yoshi Mod. Yoshi Mod is the genius. Yoshi Mod is trying to, in a sense, give us a path for the future. He's dealing with the real music. He's dealing with the real intelligence that we need to know about. And he's made this public service announcement for people to keep their kids away from this guy because, he's a con artist. But support Yoshimod.
Yoshimod Productions. We're here to take your brand and creativity to new heights. From EPGs to AI commercials, animated music commercials to animated AI bios, book covers to picture flyers, and so much more, we've got you covered. Our team is dedicated to delivering high-quality, cutting-edge designs that leave a lasting impression. And for our valued clients, we offer exceptional creativity, a customer-centric approach, and work that reflects the latest trends and technologies. Just about making art, we're about creating experiences. Your brand, your vision, our artistry. Professionalism and reliability are the cornerstones of everything we do. We're more than a service, we're your creative partners. If you're ready to make your brand shine, look no further than Yoshimod Productions. Join us in the journey of creativity. Contact us today and let's make your vision a reality.
Again, thanks. Thank you guys for your support. I hope you have a great evening. And remember, I'll see you again on Wednesday when me and Just Eve will be talking on a very important subject. And definitely check out my history program every Thursday. You guys have a good evening. Good night. Take care.